same website and same exact moment. PageSpeed Insights gives me 41 as a score, and GTmetrix gives me B, that is 73%. Also, if you take a look at the PageSpeed suggestion, it says render blocking requests, forced reflow, and so on. And that's the moment most people give up. So, today I'm putting PageSpeed Insights head-to-head with GTmetrix on the same WordPress site. This is the site. And I'll show you exactly why one of these tools is much more user-friendly than the other. So, this is my site, as you see. It contains lots of stuff, all sorts of images, products, WooCommerce, and so on. As I showed you, this is the score from the PageSpeed Insights mobile view, desktop view, and this is the score from the GTmetrix. Now I have compiled a performance tool showdown. And first one, PageSpeed Insights doesn't have any waterfall chart. If you take a look, you'll see there is no waterfall chart. It displays you FCP, LCP, DBT, and CLS, and some diagnostics information. But when I go to the GTmetrix results, there is a nice waterfall for me, which shows exactly what happens and when. That is, as you see, time to first byte is 1.6 seconds, and it's too much. And now I'll see how much time it will take for every script or image or font to load. You'll see there is a file name and there's a time, how much did it take. Scroll down and you'll see what happens until the page is fully loaded. If you hover, you'll see down below how much CPU did it take to load it, how much memory did it take, and upload and download speeds. So, PageSpeed Insights doesn't have this information. This waterfall is really useful if you want to dig in what happens exactly on your site. You can filter all the files, whether to display all, HTML file, JavaScript file, CSS, and so on. What else do we have here? Video playback. If we take a look at the PageSpeed Insights, there is no video playback available, but GTmetrix has a separate app, video. When I open it up, you'll see there is a video from the last test. Let's play, and I'll see what happens exactly on my site, and this is the timer down below here. You'll see video is 8.5 seconds long, and when I play it again, you'll see approximately 2.5 seconds nothing happens until something loads. So, very useful feature. What else do we have here is test locations. PageSpeed Insights allows you to test only from single location, but currently I tested my site from the London, but if I would like to retest it, I'm going to open up page settings and you'll see bunch of locations. You can choose the one which is the closest to your hosting server. 8 locations for North America, 2 locations for Latin America, Europe has 6 locations, Middle East 1, and Asia Pacific has 7 locations. And there is also 1 location for Africa. So choose a location which is closest to your hosting. Next, you can select device. As you see, PageSpeed Insights only has a mobile plus desktop, but GTmetrix has an option to choose whether the speed is measured using Chrome or any other device. For example, let's choose Apple iPhone 16 Pro. Next one, connection throttling. This is not configurable for PageSpeed Insights, but GTmetrix has this option. For example, you can choose broadband fast, broadband slow, LTE, 4G connection, and so on. I'm gonna leave it as unthrottled. Save settings, and now I can test it using my London server and my Apple iPhone device. Also, you can prevent ads from loading using the AdBlock Plus plugin. So if the site you're measuring is using the ads, then you can also test this one here. You can make this report private, that is, only you can see this. I'm not gonna do that. If your site is using some kind of authentication, but you still want to test it, then add your credentials here. You can add screen resolutions. As you see, this is for iPhone 16. Device pixel ratio and user agents override. Okay, let's retest it using mobile. And while it works, let's take a look at the comparison table once more. So, last one we talked about was connection throttling. What else PageSpeed Insights doesn't have is history tracking. When I open my GTmetrix account, you'll see all the latest history. This is the site, performance grades, LCP, DBT, CLS, page load time. About a minute ago it was made. All other tests will also appear here. But for every specific site, you'll see all the history here. For example, this test was made 3 hours ago, and all other tests are here. And you'll see what has happened between the tests, what changed, is there any improvement or not. It's a GTmetrix grade, performance score, and structure score. Awesome. And as I said, PageSpeed Insights doesn't have it. Every time you test it, previous test will be deleted and you don't know whether there is any improvement. Now when I go back to my latest test, you'll see this is the latest performance for my mobile view. There's a summary, performance information. Scroll down and you'll see exactly what happened. Hover on this icon and it adds an explanation. Structure, CRUX, waterfall, video, history, and this history is a really nice feature. There are also alerts. If you would like to set up alerts for this site, then click on this monitor this page button. And now I can set up the monitoring frequency, for example, weekly, save settings, close it. Next, let's create an alert, enable alert. If I would like to also create the video, then I can activate this also. Add a condition, that is, I'm gonna let me send an email when the GTmetrix grade is either less than, greater than, or equal to B, for example. So, if the GTmetrix grade is less than B, send me an email. Let's save it, and done. You can also set up alerts and monitoring options using this menu here. Okay, I'm gonna open up page settings once more, and I'm gonna use Chrome to test my site, save settings, retest, and then I'm gonna show you how to use the recommendations from the GTmetrix to improve your site speed. At the moment, let's take a look at this comparison table here. So history trackings and scheduled monitoring is not available for PageSpeed, but it's available for GTmetrix. Core Web Vitals are available for both. Real user data, CRUX, is available for PageSpeed and for GTmetrix. Now, if we talk about the recommendations, then the problem with the PageSpeed is that for the most users, those recommendations are a bit technical. For example, what should you do with this information here? It's not clear. Or if you open this tab, once again, lots of information, but what can you do with it? Who knows, especially if you're a beginner. If we take a look at the GTmetrix, let's take a look at the summary page, you'll see it says high impact for the site is we should reduce initial server response time. If you open it up, you'll see it says that it takes 1.6 seconds to load the site. If you would like to learn how to improve it, click on this link, read it through. It will be more clear to you and it explains how does it work. The same with other ones. As you see, it says avoid enormous network payloads. Total size is almost 3.5 megabytes. If I open it up, I'll see that the transfer size for some images is very big. You'll see 1.28 megabytes, 800 kilobytes, 757 kilobytes. Now, if I would like to know what is the image that causes this, when I click on it, I'll see, aha, oh, this image is huge. This image, which means I would need to open up my site, find the image which is too big, replace it with the smaller one, publish. Next, let's see what is this one here. Okay, drone image. Scroll down, find the image, replace this one with image which is much smaller, and the size of this image is only 15 kilobytes. Next one is this one here. Let's find out where is it. This one here. I'm gonna replace it with another image. The size of this image is only 60 kilobytes. So, publish. And what else do we have here? Okay, this image is also a bit too big. it's here, so I would need to replace this image also. Just replace it, publish it. All other ones seems to be okay. This is a font, some JavaScript, and some smaller images. Okay, now when I retest it and see the results, I'll see that the page size is much smaller. Previously it was approximately 3.1 megabytes. Now it's 600 kilobytes. Next, to fix this one here, I'm going to open it up and see that it says consider using a plugin like WP Rocket to significantly reduce server response time. Well, fortunately, I have a WP Rocket license available. Therefore, I'm going to go and install this plugin. Also, if you don't know what is a WP Rocket, then it's one of the most famous WordPress plugin for speeding up your website. This one here. I'm going to put the link to it in the video description. Also, I have made a separate video about this plugin. I'm going to put the link to this video also in the video description. But now I'm going to install the plugin, and I'm not going to go through all the settings this plugin has. Just I'm going to show you how with a couple of clicks you can improve most of these issues here. When the plugin is installed, you'll see there is a settings and WP Rocket menu down below here. Let's clear the cache. And now, nothing fancy here, just let's open the file optimization, minify CSS, optimize CSS, remove unused CSS is active. Let's minify JavaScript files, although sometimes you have to be careful and always test after activating it whether it works. Let's save it. Under the media, let's enable lazy load. Enable for CSS background images, and let's enable lazy load for iframes and videos. Let's preload fonts and let's self-host Google Fonts. Save it and let's move to the preload option. I'm going to activate preloading. Here you can exclude URLs, and I can also enable link preloading. Let's save it. Under the advanced rules, you can set the cache lifespan and some never cache URLs and stuff. I'm not gonna leave it as this. You can optimize your database. You can control site heartbeat, which reduces the Heartbeats API activity, and it helps save some of your server resources. We can also install Imagify to optimize the images. At the moment, I'm gonna skip it. Now, nothing else to configure here, just to test whether everything works. After the optimizations, I'm going to open up my site in private view, open it up, scroll down. Well, everything seems to be working well. So let's click. Product opens, about page also opens, back to the front page, and it works. Okay, everything seems to be working. So I'm going to close it down and I'm going to go to my GTmetrix page and I'm going to retest this site. At the same time, I'm going to also do the same with PageSpeed. And what do you know? Here's the result from the GTmetrix. You'll see performance grade is 100%. Total page size is 473 kilobytes. As you remember, when I started, it was more than 3 megabytes. Fully loaded time 1.7 seconds, and you'll see the time to first byte is now 136 milliseconds. Previously it was 1.6 seconds. Awesome stuff here. And all it took was to follow the recommendations shown down below here. Use the WP Rocket plugin and done. Now PageSpeed shows 97% for mobile and 99 for desktop. Great. Okay, to sum it up, you'll see that we also have CRUX report, and it collects the information from the last 28 days. Since I'm testing this site only today, it's my test site. There is nothing to display here, but later you'll see what are the changes here. Now, when we talk about the GTmetrix, you'll see that there is a pricing menu over here. These are the current prices. If you take a look at the description of this video, then there is a nice discount coupon for you. If you follow the link and use the coupon, then you'll get 20% off on your monthly cost for the first 12 months. So use a coupon and you're good to go. Look, both tools have their place, but if you actually want to fix your site instead of just stare at number, GTmetrix is the one you want to open in your browser. The waterfall alone is worth it. Add the video playback, the global test locations, the history graphs, and the plain English recommendations, and you've got a tool that works whether you're a beginner trying to figure out why your site feels slow, or a developer hunting down a render blocking script at 2 a.m. Now a quick question for you. What tool do you use to test your sites? Is it PageSpeed, GTmetrix, Pingdom, something I haven't heard of? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what everyone's running. Wait! If you find this tutorial helpful, then press thumbs up, this one here. And take a look at this side of the screen. It contains 2 good videos. I think you may find them useful. Meanwhile, take care. Bye.